Yeah. In three, two, one. We are live. Hello, my name is Sean Cowgill. This is Wings Week in Review. Thank you guys for watching. We're live here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in our offices of Wings for Life International. I forgot what I don't have. I was just saying I don't have a script. Maybe I need one still. Today, got a few staff members are going to introduce. One of them is actually going to ask me a few questions. Sometimes I say little parts about myself, but she might get a little bit more in depth, and you can learn a little bit more about me, the returning citizen. If you don't know what that is, stay tuned. This is Ann Edenfield Sweet. She is our CEO, our founder. She's the one who started all this 27, 28 years ago.
We're into our 28th year.
And guess what's going on this week? We're still here. She is.
Okay, well, let's see. Trying to remember all the things because every week we are so absolutely busy around here. I can't remember everything that we did. But we did have a yard sale last Saturday and cleaned out a lot of things. So we actually have a beautiful view. You can see the gorgeous red leaves outside our office. It doesn't show quite as red on the camera, but you can see them. It's absolutely gorgeous. And fall is here in New Mexico. So we did have this yard sale. It was a lovely day and got rid of a lot of things that we didn't need. And we sorted through a lot of things because we have our Christmas party coming up on December the 10th. And that is where we give away brand new gifts. And we went through all our donated items and found brand new gifts to be given out at our Christmas party.
That's right. This will be my second one.
Yeah. Well, no, you're going to see a real one. You haven't seen a real one yet. We're going to see a real family day, a real Christmas party. And then we also do our Christmas Go Shopping, and that will be December the 19th. And this is where people can pick out, they have to be nice enough gifts to give out to people at Christmas time, but they could be gently used, they could be regifted items. And so we sorted through a lot of our donations again and found things for that. So we did a great job cleaning out the office and finding things to be able to give away to people.
Who can come and pick up these gifts?
Of course, anybody. We don't ever ask. There's no criteria. You don't have to show income levels. You don't have to sign up and prove that you're on Medicaid or any of
paperwork.
Oh heavens, no. If you're there, we are not going to shame you. My first husband was in prison. I did not have a lot of money. We don't shame people into. If you need a gift, come, and we're not going to look at you like, oh, you poor thing. You're here because you need a gift. No, you're here because we all want to rejoice together. And yes, we've been blessed by things. We're going to give them out, and you can either give them out or give them away to your family. So that's how we do that. Then also, Mary Briggs, one of our key volunteers, maybe you'll see Mary here in a little bit. She's in the office. She went with me over to Roswell because Roswell, New Mexico, if you're not in New Mexico, you might have heard of Roswell and the aliens. Yes, that is the town we're talking about. They are going to be starting one of our Wings for Life meetings. And they had a consortium meeting over there, which is really a wonderful group of folks, from the head children's judge to the deputy sheriff to the head of the school security team to juvenile probation officers. There were about 25 people there. And we were able to talk about our Wings for Life program that's going to be starting over in Roswell. And then, of course, we drove 8 bikes over there. So we've got 8 bikes already ready to be given out to kids after they come 5 times to a future Wings meeting over in Roswell. So we did that. Then, of course, I've been talking to Raymond, and Raymond is busy trying to finalize all the work on the office over in Liberia. And so that is really coming together. And I'm planning a trip probably the last week in February or the first week in March. And so if you want to be on that mission team with us, just let us know. Mary Briggs and I for sure will be going, and I don't know who else will join us, but everybody is welcome to join us. Then this past week, we had Brandon Estrada. He talked about ending the silence. And this was one of the most powerful talks about mental health issues and how to deal with those. And he shared that he himself had had some mental health issues. and it's really excellent. So I would highly recommend, if you know anybody, and of course, such a high percentage of our population, at least 20% they figure, and of course, people coming out of prison. I don't know how you get out of prison without some kind of mental
if you don't
health
have it when you get there,
issue.
you might
You're
develop
gonna
it while
you're gonna come out with a little PTSD or a little something. But anyway, it was just really excellent. And that's on our YouTube channel and, of course, on our website. And then this coming Monday, we have a very interesting gentleman, Randall Cooper. He is a Native American from Alaska.
Oh.
He has been a police officer, a firefighter. He's been a movie star. He's starred in a lot of our movies here, and now he works in insurance, and he's a motivational speaker.
Great.
And he's going to talk about your mindset. And he came out of a very poor, low income housing situation in Alaska, and how he has not taken that path in life. He knew people that were addicted, people that were arrested, and he arrested some and ended up putting them in prison, as when he was a police officer there. But he got out of that mindset of that's where his life was going to go, and he's going to teach us about that. And I think that'll be very, very, very. He's a very motivational guy. He's going to be a lot of fun, and so we're looking forward to that. So we do have a lot of things coming up. And then, of course, Thanksgiving is coming up soon. So if you're going to be coming to our Monday night meeting, we will have a feast prepared by our chef right here. And, of course, we'll have to have some turkey and a little bit of cranberry and a little bit of something pumpkin. I'm not sure if we'll have pumpkin pies or not, but we'll have something. And actually we could go through I've got a wonderful pumpkin dessert that's much easier than making pumpkin pie. And we could see if we've got ingredients for that around here too. But no matter what, we will have a pumpkin festival, and as we have our weekly meetings. So it has been another very busy week at Wings for Life. And we are thrilled when you join us and find out everything that's going on. So if no one has a question for me, let's see.
Up here. Bill says.
Oh, that's Bill's uncle. Now, Bill is our Wings for Life director in Santa Fe. And so I'm very excited about Santa Fe is one of our 8 cities around New Mexico where we're going to be going. And he is a wonderful, very caring man who has mentored a young man, and that has brought about his calling to be able to help us and help Wings for Life. So, Bill, we're glad you're here and glad you're hearing this. And also, I'll throw out one other opportunity that people can join us. And I hope, Bill, you'll be there on Tuesday for the Returning Citizens Collaboration meeting, because part of that time, I would like to have our 8 directors, if they all are available that day, to just give us a little update about what's going to be happening in all the various communities and where that will be meeting, where they will be meeting in the various cities. And we will probably be starting that probably around the second week in January. The first week in January is too hectic to get brand new program started. Kids are just getting back to school. But usually we start up our Wings for Life meetings around the second or third week. And I would suggest that that's probably will be starting around the state. So, Bill, glad you're with us. And if you've got any other questions for me, or otherwise, we're going to move it on and let other people talk.
We're going to get Ken Jackson up here next.
All right. There you go.
Ken is our director of so many things. I will let him tell you. So many that I can't remember exactly. Here comes Ken Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. And what is your title this week?
Program director.
Program director. Okay.
Yes.
I always think it's director of operations or.
That's Max.
Oh, that's Max. Okay.
That's Max. Right. And then JD is Wings director.
Wings director. Okay. So what's going on with you this week? And you probably haven't been on the show in 6 months, maybe.
Something like that.
Maybe tell everybody why you stick around with Wings, what you get out of Wings, and why you're here.
Well, I love what I do, and started doing workshops and talks for Wings, and Ann asked me to join the team, and I was excited to do so. As far as updates, we're just really excited with the results that we got from the celebration. We're just really pumped. We made an improvement from last year. I believe right now we're sitting at an estimated $59,000 that we were able to make.
From the Hotel Albuquerque event?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. Our 27th annual celebration of champions. We've got a lot of great things coming from that. Our angels that will be put on our new building.
Okay.
So that's really exciting. So I just want to thank everyone that contributed to the celebration of champions. It is definitely it's needed, and all the proceeds are going to obviously to a good cause, but more so the people that need it the most will be able to have a building where they can come in and actually learn. They can get educated on so many different topics. With the plans that Ann has in place with the building and everything else, I'm just excited for what she's put together. So
Okay.
just excited to be a part of it.
Say hi to Lawrence out there. Hey, Lawrence. He's a
Lawrence.
returning citizen too. I know him personally. We spent a little time together, and now we get to spend time in the free world together. Thanks for watching, Larry.
Other than that, my friend, things are going really well.
Okay.
We're moving right along, and expansion is happening. So
And you got a little side things going on. Maybe you want to plug your Jackson. What's it, KJ Effect?
oh, so yeah, I still do talks. I just recently I did the keynote speech for the Inmost that is New Mexico out of school time program. I did the keynote for that organization, about 125, 150
And
people.
what is a keynote to? Because I'm gonna just
So I
in
do
layman's terms.
I do I do different talks. In this particular case, my talk was on the infinite mindset, and it's on my YouTube channel. But
Tell everybody the name of your YouTube channel.
the KJ Effect. You can find me on YouTube and other social media outlets at the KJ Effect. But it went really well. I was excited about it. Touched on mindset, having an infinite mindset, as you know, through life experience. There's the finite mindset where you're closed off, and then there's the infinite where you actually have to expand your thought processes, and that's what I discussed with a little bit of my life as well. So, yeah, I love being around and helping people out, and that's what we do here at Wings. And I
And are
believe
you a native New Mexican?
I am born and raised, my friend. Born and raised, lived in different parts of the city, but proud to be from Albuquerque and New Mexico. It's a great place to build life, and the culture here is really awesome because it is multicultural.
Your favorite city in New Mexico that you've ever lived in, say, or visited?
Well, it would have to be Albuquerque, man.
Really?
I'm
Okay.
Bootganian all the way, so
Okay.
that's just how it goes. But yeah, Santa Fe is up there, and
I've been to
But,
Santa Fe. I want to go to Roswell. I want to go to Farmington for some reason.
yeah.
People told me you don't want to go to Farmington. Yeah, I do.
No, it's, yeah. I have friends that live in Farmington, but I'm Albuquerque all the way, so um, that's what we got going on, man.
Okay. Sounds
All right.
good. Sounds good.
Appreciate you.
Thank you very
Thanks for
thank you
having
very
me.
much. Mary, would you like to say hello? Mary Briggs? We're always talking about you. So do you want to sit here? I can move.
No, that's
Okay.
all right. I'll come
Ladies and
around.
gentlemen, this is Mary Briggs. She is the bread and butter, the brick, I want to say the cornerstone of this office, anyways, because she's always here, guys. And how much is your paycheck every month?
0.
0. She volunteers, guys. She gives all her time to Wings for Life. So I'm just
My paycheck is that I stay young and that I do what I'm supposed to be
well,
doing.
you get a different kind of paycheck.
Right, different kind of paycheck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week, I've been basically doing what everybody else has been doing, but we had a lady come in yesterday, well, 2 days ago, who had 8 hours of community time to do. And so I helped her out, gave her the downspiel of what Wings was about. And so she got all of our letters stamped, which we do and send out with our newsletters, etc. And for donations. And she has a daughter that needs some help, and so she's going to be coming to Wings for
Okay.
Life on Monday night.
Oh, great.
So that's great.
Maybe we can help out her daughter too. So.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
sounds
and
great.
her family.
Guys, the number is scrolling across the screen and the website. So if you want to know more of anything we're talking about, give us a call. You don't even have to look on the website. Call us and we'll talk to you. Ask for Mary.
Yeah, she's always here. Yeah. And I'm also excited about going to Liberia. We're gonna dedicate a new building and so I'm looking forward to that. So hey there,
Sounds great.
Liberia.
Yeah, Liberia. Now that's yeah, I don't know if I'm going or not. We'll see. I don't know. I thought about maybe a GoFundMe page to get me to Liberia. I don't know. We'll see, but that's another story. But you've been
You can
there. How
always
many
try-
how many how many times have you been there?
Well, this will be my second time. I
Second
just went.
time.
Yeah,
Now that's got to be a culture shock and a half, right? To go to Africa, right?
it is. When I was probably in third grade, I always thought about going over to Africa to do some mission work, but I'm doing it backhandedly. As most things I do is backhandedly, um, and the things that I've gotten myself into. It's, well, do you want to do this? Yeah, sure. I'll do.
Well, now when you go there, you're probably going to be treated like a queen because of what you did. I don't know if you want to tell everybody what you did, how you helped them out over there.
Well, I had a friend that passed away last December, and she left some money to me, and I had this thought of money just rolling off my hands, as a lot of people see money do, is just, and I thought, what am I going to do to recognize my friend Alvira Desachi? And so Raymond was asking for money for a building. And so I thought this would be a good way to recognize her, to help Wings out, and to change the lives in Liberia.
And it's funny, the money that they still needed was the exact number of the money that you got left, right? It
Yep.
was $11,000, right?
Yep.
And that was the figure that they came up with before you received this money. It
Yeah.
wasn't anything. That was just
Yeah.
something.
Well, 22 has to be a lucky number for Wings. It's my favorite number. It's Anne's favorite number, and so we did
That's my
11
birthday, 22. Yeah,
11, mine too, and so
I didn't know
it's,
that.
yeah. So it's funny that it was like 11,222.22, something like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
half of 22, too.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I didn't know you were born on the 22nd. What month?
July.
Okay, I'm April, but 22. That's the number.
Yep, 722.
I tried to put it on the Powerball ticket last week. It didn't work.
Well, it's too late now.
Yeah,
Somebody
too late
won
now. Somebody won.
this
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah, they won.
Oh well, there's always
Oh,
another.
they play
Yeah.
every day. Yeah. Well, this is Mary Briggs, guys, and if you want to, like I said, the numbers scrolling across the screen. Anything you want to know about Wings, any help you want, Mary's probably going to be the one answering the phone, but ask for Mary and she.
That's because I've heard it so many times.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank
Okay,
you very
yeah.
much, Mary. Next up, I have Marty Wolf. Are you our media director or social media director?
I am
print
either marketing
media,
director or media
marketing director?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure because both of those terms have been used to describe me, so I'm not quite
Yeah.
sure always. But yeah, and thanks to Mary, there is this beautiful blue roof on the building over in Liberia.
That's right.
And Raymond is really good about sending us photos and letting us know what's
Yeah, if
going
you
on.
go to our Facebook web or go to our website, it's all the pictures you want to see of Liberia.
Yeah.
Every other day, he's taking pictures, and we get to see the progress from a dirt lot to a building, guys. Well, there was some remnants of a
No,
building
there
there,
was a building
but
there,
we
but
get to see the
it
whole
was pretty
Yeah.
pitiful.
reconstruction and
It was
everything else.
extremely pitiful. And I will say another miracle that happened was that they desperately needed a well.
Oh well, that's right.
So they could get off of the area water, which was very expensive and so
Sure.
forth. And a wonderful couple that the wife is a steady volunteer here, Mary Baca, they donated the exact amount of money they needed to dig the well. So there have been just many, many, many wonderful miracle kinds of things happening here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And what's been going on this week with our media stuff?
what has been going on this week is that I am starting the last quarter newsletter, which is going to be an exciting one because it'll include the celebration. which was an amazing event in spite of all the things that we went through
How
getting
can
there.
the audience get a hold of a copy of that newsletter?
They just need to go on our mailing list because it goes out
And how do they do that?
mail or email. Give us a call.
Give us a call. There you
Email
go.
us,
And it's
whatever.
numbers on the screen,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, to get your copy. They are sent out virtually on email, and they are also mailed to several hundred people every month. So whichever way you want to receive it is fine with us. I'm also starting the annual report and has trusted me to do that this year. So it's going to look very different from the way it's looked before, and it's going to be
So how did it look before?
it
and
was
how's gonna look now?
it was kind of very structured with a lot of lines and all that. I'm much more of a free form kind of person, but it's gonna really highlight all of the incredible things that have happened this year, which are numerous, as we all
Like
know.
our
And as most,
building, that's got to be probably
well,
top.
yeah,
That's
not everybody gets a million two 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 to start buying a building and retrofitting it, and our legislators the last year were very, very, very generous, and just donated what's called capital outlay funds in the Senate here in New Mexico are given for special projects for all sorts of community projects and so forth. And Wings was extremely fortunate
Yeah.
due to a lot of great visiting and lobbying and explaining why we need this building. Because those of you who have never been in our building, which is probably most of you out there, we are so crammed in here that it's mind-boggling, and we need space so badly
Yeah, we do.
to keep growing, and our staff is growing. You
Right,
know, there's a
right.
lot of new people that are here because we need them, and we don't really have a lot of space for them. And our
and
interns.
people who do community service.
Exactly.
We have a
So
lot of
it's pretty
those.
packed in here, which is not,
And just volunteers too.
yeah, it gets pretty packed in here, and it's hard for people to really get work done in this kind of an atmosphere. So we're really looking forward to having a new building and to being able to spread our wings a lot
Yeah.
in many directions and in many ways. But anyway, I'll be working on the annual report, and then I am also going to have the great privilege. I have a background in big business, and I have done strategic planning for working with many, many, many corporations and nonprofits all across the country and so forth. And I am going to have the privilege of leading the board, the Wings board, in I think what is going to be their first ever formal
Wow.
strategic planning
And
session.
how many members do we have on the board here?
I think there's 7.
7.
I've actually never been to a board meeting, so I'm not. Yeah, I don't
I
remember
think
the
I've
list.
met them all. Then, if there's only 7, I think I've met them all.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a great board of directors, and I'm excited about the opportunity to open up new ideas and let's really look at what we're doing. Let's kind of zero base. If we were starting Wings today, what would we do? And how would that look?
That's good. That's it.
Yeah,
I like it.
how would it look exactly like what we're doing, or would we look at it, doing it slightly differently, or which programs are working, which aren't, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a great thing that really all boards of profits and nonprofit companies should all do every year, and not that many take the time to do it, but it's a great learning experience. Something that is accompanying that is called SWOT. And
That's right. You were telling me about that.
yeah,
so-
SWOT is a great way to analyze what's going on. And you have 4 categories of strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And everybody yells out words, and you put them on the wall, and then you start going through, okay, what are the things that make us great? What are the things that we're maybe not doing the way we ought to be doing, or maybe we want to think about not doing them anymore because they're not working? And then opportunities, and that'll be like a 3-page thing, 3 sheets to fill out, because we have more opportunities ahead of us than almost anybody. Honestly, we have had so many doors open to us this year.
Yeah, yeah.
And then threats. So what might keep us from accomplishing all of these things that we want to accomplish? And it's just an incredible exercise. And I've done it in large corporations, small corporations, numerous nonprofits. So I'm excited about the opportunity to share that with the Wings board. And then otherwise it's just, getting out materials and taking advantage of opportunities to get us in the news, television, print, and so forth, which we've been really fortunate with this year. We've had a lot of coverage and working with all the people here that have been here a while and all the wonderful new people we're bringing in.
Yeah, I'm coming up on a year, so
Yeah, I'm a
I
little
made
past
it.
that.
I
Yeah,
made it.
we survived.
Yeah.
We managed to be here. Yeah. But as we said earlier,
Yeah, Marty was gonna ask me a few questions, guys. I once in a while I throw in little parts about my life, but I guess she's gonna
well,
do a
I think
little.
everybody who's on here probably knows quite a bit about your post younger life, but not a whole lot about maybe the earlier days in your life. And so I think it would be interesting for you to share,
The earlier
where you
days.
came from, what all did you do when you were younger? What,
Younger, like 10 years old,
well,
15 years
younger
old.
before you went to prison.
Well, I didn't go to prison until I was 52 years old.
So we got a lot to cover here.
And I thought I was never going to go to prison. I
Yeah.
never ever thought that. But I was able to turn that around. And I was fortunate to just go to a level 1 prison,
Yeah.
guys, like a camp that doesn't even have a fence, just out of bounds signs, because I didn't do the real violent crimes.
Mhm.
But had I stuck around with that neighborhood I grew up in and those kind of
Who knows?
friends, and
Yeah.
you never know. I was in a car once, this back in, I don't know, 1992 maybe. So, and I was hanging out with my drug friends, and we were driving around town, trying to get some drugs. And one friend had to go pick up another friend, and the guy got in the car, and I remember he had a big, I don't AK-47, whatever it was. And he goes, "I need you to drive over here. I'm looking for somebody. There, he's there." And then the guy gave me a gun. He goes, are you?" I didn't even know these people, and I knew the one guy driving. He said, "You willing to use that gun?" And I said, "What? Just drop me off." And he goes, "That's what we thought, right?" He put a gun in my head. You're gonna fire that gun if I tell you to. And luckily, whoever he was looking for wasn't on that street. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I ended up in a car that night.
Yeah.
And as soon as I could get out of there, I never went back to those people. I never talked to them again. But and that's if it had I couldn't have done it. I don't know. It was over drugs and
Well,
money.
you wouldn't be here today.
I certainly wouldn't be
Yeah,
here.
you wouldn't be here
And maybe
today.
that was a sign from God. Like, you need to stop hanging around these kind of people.
Exactly.
Because the guy driving the car, I thought I knew him, but I didn't know he knew people like this.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen, man.
So when you were in school,
Yeah.
what did you love when you were in school?
Science, really? I
Really?
wanted to be a
Great.
scientist, not an astronaut, but I wanted to be some kind of. I wanted to. I don't know. When I used to watch all these Disney movies as a kid, I wanted to invent a potion that would make me turn invisible.
I think a lot of us have felt
You know,
that way
that
at
kind of
times.
stuff. Or I've watched all those computer wore tennis shoes, all those Disney movies. But I did really like. I like science. I like geology, all that. But I never really took. I didn't pursue it. But that was my dream, to be a scientist. It's never too late. You never know. But
Well, I think you're a little bit of one now because I think you're using the science of growth and change and what has happened to you to totally turn your life around. And that is both an art and a science, really. I mean, it
Okay.
involves both components.
okay.
And I think you're using that type of scientific thinking to help other people change their lives.
Well, ever since I was probably 10 years old, I used to listen to AM radio, where all the other kids are listening to FM. But I'm listening to all the talk shows and all the spectrum, the right wing, the left
Yeah.
wing. San Francisco, we had a lot of left wing talk shows.
Right.
Ron Owens, I don't know if you ever heard of him.
No.
But he's a big name out there. But he's a left wing guy. But I listened to talk shows as a kid, and I always wanted to have a talk show someday in the future.
Guess
But
what?
I didn't think it was going to be like prison related. I thought it might be about science or something. I don't know. But
Well,
I never thought it was going to be about prison. But you never know where you're going to end up in this world. But wherever you do end up, make the best out of it.
Yeah.
You know, most people go to prison and they think it's over. I went to prison. I took every class, every program. Uh, I was just telling Mary, I think there was 18 different religious services. I mean, I went to the Seventh Day Adventists. I sat in a Jewish. I went to the Wiccan. I went to the Mormons. I went to the Catholics. I went to the Southern Baptist, the Northern Baptist. I sat in on everyone. I read the Torah. I read the Quran. I read the Bible a few times over and over, and I just learned everything so I could make my decision. Right. I wanted
Well,
to read all the possible good book, the Lost Scrolls, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I read. I had time. So
well, and what an amazing thing that is, because I know a lot of people. I've known a lot of people in life. I don't know anybody that's accomplished all of that. That's a lot to celebrate. That
the
really
most
is a lot to
fascinating
celebrate.
book I read was the Quran, believe
Yeah.
it or not. And it's nothing I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to bash Christianity. It actually gives props to Christianity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I'm going to convert or anything, but it was an
Well,
amazing book.
the tragedy of our world today is all the dissension between my thing, your thing, everybody, we can't see each other anymore as fellow human beings. We see each other with these signs on their head.
A lot of good friends I made in prison and I still talk to today. Salty was one of them. He's supposed to come on the show the other night, but are Muslim and some of the most, I don't know, honest, funniest, good, wholesome people I've ever met. And they're not terrorists like the media wants you to believe, okay?
Yeah.
They're really not. And there's a few of them I know here that I go to their stores and stuff, and I'm getting to know a few in the community, and they're good people.
Yeah,
just
I
wanna
have
say that.
I have some very close friends.
Yeah, they're really good
Yeah.
people. I've never met a terrorist, even in prison, that was a Muslim.
Well, we have
They're
our own,
there. Don't get me
we have
wrong.
our own terrorists
We have
now
our own
too.
terrorists, yeah.
Exactly. So, we have to, I think we just have to all of us work as hard as we can to be the people that we need to be and try to inspire other people
Yeah.
to be the people they need to be, because we've got an awful lot of problems and sadness and
Yeah.
violence and hate going on, and that has, in the entire history of our world, never ever accomplished anything positive. So, we can all commit ourselves to working harder and working with other people, and Wings does that with people who have had very traumatic lives and experiences, and helping them see that anger and hatred and violence is not the way to go. And
I had enough of that as a kid. Back to I did grow up in San Francisco in the area called the Richmond District, which is mainly Chinese, but then a lot of blacks, Russians, Irish, and but mainly Chinese and blacks. But it was kind of a poor neighborhood. I was in the inner Richmond, not the outer Richmond. There's two parts of it, and I was in the real poor section. But we only lived about 12 blocks from the beach, so that was nice.
it's a good thing. Never
Yeah.
hurt. That never hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. But
No.
I had a pretty bad childhood, and the abusive father, both parents alcoholics. They both died of alcoholism, and childhood wasn't that great. I don't want to get into that because I've talked about it here and there. You can overcome it, but I've had 10 years of therapy that the feds paid for, guys, because going to prison was one thing, but I got my house raided. And then a year later, I got indicted, then 4 years of pretrial, and then 4 years of prison, and a halfway house, and 3 years of supervised release, which I'm off all of this next month. My
Yay.
11, 12 years will
Yay,
be
yay, yay.
over on December 22nd, my Christmas present. But you
Well,
can overcome any situation if you put your mind to it, guys. But you got to choose the people that around you. You got to make choices and decisions. You got to know how to make the good ones. And in order to know how to make the good ones, I had to make the bad ones first. Right. And then, but you learn from that. Never try to make the same bad decision twice. Maybe that's the key.
well, and I have tremendous admiration for you as a human and as somebody who's overcome so very much. And I've known a lot of people who grew up in homes like yours. And
Oh, it's common. I'm nothing special. Nothing
well, but
special.
but they don't all find their way.
And it took me, 40, 50 years to
Yeah.
find my way.
Yeah.
I'll take it though. I'll take it because some people never find their way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're seeing on the streets of Albuquerque and all over the country is
Mm.
people, and all over the world really, of people who still haven't found their way. So I have tremendous admiration for the journey that you've taken and where
My
you
journey
are
is
now.
actually, it's all just beginning now
Yeah.
because if you guys know, I have the other Federal Prison Talk channel, but probably 500 people I've talked to on the phone that I help, and now I'm starting a little side business and where I'm helping guys with their with their court appearances, getting them a better outcome at sentencing day and stuff like that. But I get to counsel people and talk to them, and I'm always helping people just out of the goodness of my heart, which I didn't even know I had a goodness of my heart until I started doing this. And my whole life now is prison. I'm sitting here as an employee of Wings for Life because I went to prison, right?
Yep.
Okay. I have this YouTube channel because I went to prison. All right. I have this new side business helping people with their. I'm doing the things the lawyers don't have the time to do. I'm getting paid for that because I went to prison. I'm sitting here with meeting friends and people in the community because I went to prison. I would have never thought going to prison could be a positive experience. And I'm surrounded with nothing but good people today, people going forward in their life, paying it forward, people giving back, people with good hearts. The whole world is My whole world is because I went to prison, I got to meet all this whole new world of positive people has appeared in it. And and I just life just keeps getting better. And it's all because I went to prison, but it's what I did with the time while I was in there.
Well, you're there. Well, and my life has been very different because I have hardly known anybody who had gone to prison. And the experience of working with returning citizens has been one of the most rewarding of my whole life,
Yeah.
truly. And I've worked with some incredible people in my life, but
So you say returning citizen. I definitely am a returning citizen, but before I went to prison, I wouldn't consider myself a citizen. I wasn't that good, but today I'm definitely a citizen.
Well, there are
and I
good
have returned.
there are good citizens and there are citizens that aren't pulling their weight.
Yeah.
And you were a citizen who wasn't pulling your weight. And my hope for our country is that more people will understand the need to pull their weight in positive ways instead of negative ones.
Right.
But we have so much ahead of us, so many opportunities. Wings has been so blessed this year with just endless open doors,
Yeah.
so what we are going to be able to do in the next several years is pretty amazing. And as a definite elder now, I'm glad that I'm my life brought me to this place because I have not ever worked for a nonprofit. I've been on boards of many nonprofits, but I've never worked for a nonprofit, and it's been a very wonderful experience.
Well, I want to tell everybody out there, regardless if you've been to prison or whatever your past was, if you have a past that you're ashamed of or embarrassed of, or just it's something you don't ever want the world to know about, you could turn all that around. It's not the past that you had. It's how you overcome that past,
Mhm.
what you do with it, the choices, decisions you make now. The people, if you think you had a bad life before, if you could turn it around to a good thing. See, if I go to a job interview now, I'm going to tell them I went to prison. I'm going to say, look, I got through prison. I got through, I've been to jail. I've done all these things, drug addictions, all this stuff. I've overcome that. I got through all that, right? I'm the guy you want to hire because now look what I've done. Look, they can see your positive energy.
Yeah,
You got to
absolutely.
take that past and make it positive, no matter what it was. If you've been, sexually abused, verbally abused, physically abused in your past from men and women and parents and who knows who, you overcome that and you make that your superpower.
Yeah.
And people will see that and they'll respect it. But it takes a lot of hard work. I had a lot of therapy guys, and you got to find other people that to help you with that journey. It's tough to do it alone. And if you do it alone, you're still alone. So who wants to be alone sitting in that? So find some help out there. Find people, call us, call me. The number's on the screen. Wings for Life. We're here to help you through that. That's one thing I know we could do for anybody out there that just hasn't got the feeling that life's what they want it to be yet. Maybe we can help you. Give us a call. What's
Exactly.
it going to hurt? What's it going to hurt? We're not going to hang up on you. I'll tell you that. I'll listen. I'm here to listen. You here to listen?
Very much so. And one of the things that I want to focus on is really out there in the community because the work I do is what goes out into the community. news releases and all sorts of communications. And I want to help change the view of ex-cons because too many people, like, they won't hire them. They don't want them around because they're this or that. And Wings has given me the opportunity to really work hard to try to turn those minds around through communications, through speaking, through whatever, because it's not true.
Most people that get out of prison just want a job, and they want to they want to earn an honest living, but they need an honest living that's a living wage.
Yeah.
They don't want to, be a roofer for 12 bucks an hour, at 40 years old. So they just want to earn an honest wage, be able to support a family and just
Yeah.
have enough money. They're not trying to get rich, but they just want a good job.
Well,
a good job.
they want to
you know?
live
They
like
want a
other
good
people.
job. Yeah.
Well, and my exposure to gang members has been really interesting because, again, my life never put me in any kind of contact with gang members other than seeing them, on a street or something. And, s- some of them become really close buddies, and it's been a very rewarding and kind of wonderful thing to get to know, how incredibly talented. I mean, you can't be a dummy and not know how to do anything and be the leader of a gang.
No,
That is, if you
leadership
if you
qualities.
look at
Yeah.
that like it's a corporation or
Right,
something,
right.
these are like the presidents and CEOs
Sure.
of corporations. And while what they're doing is terrible, and they're, killing people with drugs and guns and everything else, these are smart people. These are very smart people.
I know a woman that was a drug dealer, went to prison for it. Now she is well, she's way up there in a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
And she's selling drugs, but she's selling
Doing it the right
medicine.
way.
Now she sells medicine. You know what I mean? And she's doing phenomenal. She just bought a house, everything. So you can turn it around.
Well, and just here, I see the talents and abilities of people like you and other staff members who all have backgrounds of going to prison. And I've never worked with better people. I really can say that. I've never worked with better, more dedicated people.
Well, if you give us a chance, most of us we just want a good job and earn a living. We don't go to rob a liquor store. We don't want to steal. We really don't want to do that. Now there are some people that are going to go in and out the rest of their lives. I can't help them. There's some people they're just I don't know how to reach them. I don't know. Maybe God will, somebody else will. And there's some people I won't help. They're people that scare me, and I'm glad you're locked up. That's just the way it is. Maybe somebody else can help them. But anybody who wants to change, even a little bit, want the small desire to change, that's the kind of people I like to help.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing what I do. Yeah. Because I love the transformation that I see in
that
people.
I love seeing that
Yeah.
transformation. The tiny miracles. I call it tiny miracles.
Well, and the opening up, because one of the things about being in prison is you got to watch your back every minute.
Yeah.
Okay. And there may be trust in small, little, tiny groups of
Yeah,
people,
that's true.
but not of the general population and the others around you that are not like you or part of your group or identity or whatever. And being able to watch people who are opening, their hearts and minds are opening, and they're able to say, yeah, I'm going to invite you in. I know you're really different from me, and I know you don't understand what I've been through, but I'm going to invite you in anyway. And my heart opens to them also to say, no, I haven't experienced anything that you've experienced, but I'm open to being your friend.
Well, I found the good friends, in some of the religious courses, but in the night classes that we have, like there was a geology class, there was a class in ancient Rome, and the guy sitting in there. You're going to find good people even in prison. You're going to find, especially, I went to level one. There's a lot more, maybe average Joes going to prison, but you can even find them in the penitentiaries. They're there, and you just got to reach out and find each other.
Yeah.
And there are guys who want to change their life. And they want to start then while they're in prison. And there's the thugs and the gangs and all that too. And you can go that way. And most people do. But the ones who don't stick together there, and next thing you know, you are kind of a gang. nobody, you're not really a gang, but you're not alone.
You have your own peeps.
your own peeps.
Yeah,
still,
you got
know?
your own peeps.
Yeah. But and they're out here too. And I'm fortunate to like Larry, he was on here, he's a good guy. He's a general manager of a restaurant now in Santa Fe. And
Yay for him.
yeah, and he just got out of prison a couple years ago, and look, he's doing things. And there's Max. We were friends in there, and just it's amazing. I get to talk to people now that I would have never ever thought in a million years I would want to have anything to do with somebody in prison, let alone I was going to go to prison. And now it's all part of my life,
Yeah.
and it's all positive. So
Yeah.
even my probation officers, I've had 4 of them. They all said they were proud of me after they got to know me.
Well, we are very
You have
proud
to
of
earn
you.
that trust with them, but
We are
that's not
very,
easy
very
to
proud
do.
of you here. Yeah, you've been a tremendous asset to Wings, and we look forward to hopefully all of us lasting long enough to really
Yeah.
see Wings fly in a way it's never been able to fly before. When we finally get our building and we can start inviting the whole world in and really offering things that are just kind of impossible now because we just don't have the facilities
Yeah,
to
I
do
really
it.
want to start reaching out to homeless people too.
Yeah,
That's one
yeah.
of my goals. They need, and I've been homeless before too, so I know what it's like.
Well, if the rents keep going up, we're all going to be joining them.
Most people are one paycheck away from being homeless.
Exactly.
One paycheck
Yeah,
away, not
yeah.
2, one paycheck.
Yep.
One paycheck.
Yep.
Your car breaks down. Well, the buses are free for now, but like that's your car breaks down, and then now do I fix the car? Do I pay the rent? And decisions like that.
Well, mine
Well,
went up 40%
Yeah, what do you do?
last year.
And you're probably going to lose that security deposit to go find another place, but you got to come up with first and last at the new place. And nobody has. You got $3,000 saved up for if they're going to raise your rent. Most people don't have that.
No.
You know.
Fortunately, here in Albuquerque, a lot of them don't have that kind of stringent. I lived in California for 20 years, and you better have $6,000-7,000 to move, to pay all the deposits you needed to pay. Fortunately, at the time, I could do that. Now
Yeah.
I'd be living in a crate
Yeah.
under a viaduct or something because you can't.
Yeah.
You've got to have an extraordinary income to live in that kind of environment.
If by chance anyone out there is listening and you're homeless or something, and you have a criminal record and you're worried that you can't rent a place, so I rent from TNC Management. I think they have, I don't know, at least 50 properties all over town. They rent to felons. They rent it
Yeah.
to me. You just can't have any sexual abuse, no sex charges, and no drug dealing charges. You got possessions, but so they're not going to hire a drug dealer or a sex offender. But anything else, yeah, TNC Management, and call us. We can hook you up with them, and then they can get you in, and they even accept vouchers, guys. So there's programs out there here in Albuquerque. Call us. I think we know who some of them are, and you can sign up for a housing voucher and get out of the situation you're in
Yeah.
and improve it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So maybe start with our phone number, but we can direct you in the right way.
Yeah, there are still places that you don't have to pay thousands of dollars
Yeah,
to get into.
right.
They're few and far between, I will tell you that, because
You got to do the work. You got to show up
Yeah.
at their office. You might have to show up 2 or 3 times and make some phone calls and make those appointments. And a closed mouth does not get fed. But if you open up your mouth loud enough here in Albuquerque, somebody's going to help you. I've
Yeah.
noticed that about this town.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So hopefully everybody has at least thought about our veterans today, because it is
Oh,
a
God bless
very
the veterans.
important federal holiday today. And we also know that a lot of veterans wind up in prison
they
because
sure
of
do.
PTSD and all kinds of emotional problems that lead them to do things that are not helpful. And we just want to honor them and their families and all that they go through. I had a cousin when I was literally a baby, because I was born just before World War One, not one, two.
Sure.
Yeah, one, and I don't think so. Anyway, he was
Yeah,
on.
the cavalry. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He was on the USS Franklin, which was the ship that was closest to
And that
Japan.
was made of wood. No, just kidding.
Anyway, he was an incredible young man, 20, 21 years old, and a kamikaze pilot.
Oh,
Hit the ship and he died and was buried at sea. But I, you know, when I go any place on 4th of July and they're playing all of the service songs, I literally have a relative, either direct relative or somebody by marriage, that I stand for every single one of the service songs.
nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice, nice.
So it's something we, those of us who've never served, really need to remember, who's out there keeping us safe.
Yeah, yeah. I do thank you all for your service, and I do mean that. And I get to speak here freely because of what you.
Exactly.
A lot of you have died for. So.
Exactly. And other people are safe in other worlds because of that.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Well, I think we're going on an hour. I think it's time to wrap it
I'm
up. But how
done.
about some final words? Any?
Just take care of each other. Let's all take care of each other.
All right. I remember anything negative can always be turned around to positive if you put your mind to it, guys. And if you need some help, call us. The number's on the screen. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week.
Have a great weekend.